Hello and welcome to my channel where I show you my thought process in creating some of my abstract, or I like to call it photographic art, images. Today I'm going to show you how I created this one, which is an image of my granddaughter, which I'm actually really pleased with. I did this in colour, and I also did another one in black and white. Not too sure which one I prefer. Probably I think the black and white one, but yeah, let me know what you think. Anyway, I'm going to run you through the process I used to end up with this final image. Okay, so we're in Photoshop Elements to start with the image, and I'm going to open up the original image of my granddaughter, and what I want to do is divide off the bottom right hand corner. So we're going to pull down the horizontal rule to about there, and the vertical rule to about there. Then going to click on the rectangular marquee tool, and we're going to drag that box down to that quarter, and then Control J, and we have saved that as a separate image up here. So we're going to save that, file, save as, TIFF. So I've opened up iColorama, and I've also opened up this texture which we are going to use for our base image. So I need to put over the top of that, so I need to blend, photo, and the photograph of my granddaughter. I will then go through all the different blend modes to see which one I want to use or suits this image. And for this particular one, I did actually use exclusion. So I'm happy with that, and we're going to apply that, which will now be in our steps box. So we're going to open that up again. Now I want to put that bottom right hand corner, which I divided off in Photoshop Elements. So we're going to go again to blend, photo, and we're going to open up that bottom right hand corner. And for this particular image, I chose reflect for this particular one, which, if I can find it, reflect. I now want to put a brush mask around this part of the image to reveal it. Let's move that up there. Reduce the brush size slightly. I'm going to come into here, down there, to about there. So I'm happy with that. So we're going to apply that, which again will be in our steps box as step 3. I now want to basically go through the different tones or enhance and find out which one particularly suits the image. And there is a lot of them in enhance, pastel, sign, tint, low-mo, duotone, sepia, black and white. But the one I actually picked for this was number 9. So again, happy with that, like the way that was going. So I apply that setting, which again will now be in my steps box in steps 4. Now, something that is a little bit strange with iColorama, in some of the settings, it seems to be the ones that you distort the image with. If I go into form, you have things like waves or glass or deforms, various settings that you can sort of tweak the image. Now, when I actually made this image, I went into deform number 12 and I played around with the sliders until I got the image I wanted. Now, as I say, something a bit strange with iColorama is once you've made that change and you're happy with it, that is basically a one-off, because if I was to close that image and try and recreate the whole process again, when I came back into deform, I could not get the same effect. I could still get different effects, but I can't get the same effect. So I basically am trying to say I cannot recreate that final step for you because iColorama won't give me that setting. It's not with all the settings, it just seems to be with the sort of ones that distorts the images. So that's worth bearing in mind. If you make an image and you're happy with it, don't think that you can go back and do the whole process again and end up with the same image, because very often you can't, which is in a way a little bit nice, because that image that you've created and you're happy with is unique. You could probably never ever make it again. So in a way, you're making unique images that cannot be recreated. So, but anyway, that's worth bearing in mind. So this is the image that I ended up with, which, as I say, I was really, really pleased with. The final step I did to this image is I opened it up in Capture NX2, and I actually put in an unshaped mask. I do this occasionally to my images, and I gave the intensity and radius 50%, which has given me that. It does have a side effect, as in it can make the image a little bit on the sort of grainy side, but sometimes the image actually suits that, and in this case I thought it did. I gave it a little crop to there, and auto retouch brush was just sort of getting rid of unwanted sort of dust spots and so on. So yeah, turned it into a black and white. I think I actually prefer, as I said at the beginning, let me know what you guys think, but yeah, I think probably black and white suits this image best. Now, I actually made another image from the photograph of my granddaughter, which I'm just going to run through with you because it was quite a quick edit actually, but I thought the final outcome was quite effective. I've opened up a blank sheet here of white, and I'm going to go into brush and explode, and I'm going to change my color palette to red, and in the presets I'm going to pick number 6, and I'm going to make the brush a little bit bigger, and I'm going to just paint in on this blank canvas. Like so. And I'm going to apply that. I'm now going to go to Effects, Blend, and I'm going to open up that image there. And I am going to reduce the size of it until I get to about there. And I'm going to go into my blend modes and I'm going to pick overlay. And that basically is it. And I thought that was really, really quite effective. So I actually saved that, applied it, and then I saved it as a PNG file. And I then opened it up in Capture NX2. So in NX2 I gave this image a small crop that I thought suited the image a little bit better, and also I did a little bit of sharpening to it with the high pass filter, and yeah, that was the final image. Strangely enough, I find that the images that I create fairly quickly are very often the best images. I mean, this one only took me probably 10-15 minutes to make, whereas the other one I was probably playing with that for 3 to 4 hours maybe, and I actually ended up with 3 images from that, 2 of which I decided I didn't like and ended up deleting them. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. I don't know whether I'm going to continue to make these tutorials. I don't know. It may just be the frame of mind I'm in today, but yeah, I mean, unless you guys are really finding them helpful and useful, I really do question whether I will sort of carry on doing them. But you know, if you do enjoy them, then yes, I will carry on. But as I say, it's probably just the way I feel at the moment. So let me know in the comments below what you think. And yeah, I think that's just about it. Thanks very much for watching. As I say, I hope you've liked them. If you have, please tick that like box, and we'll go from there. So this is John Dexter saying bye for now.